So let us start with module number 1, energy scenario and energy conservation. So to start with, first of all, we have to see what is the importance of energy. We know that the energy is one of the major input for economic development of any countries. So may it be a developed countries or may it be underdeveloped or developing countries. This energy sector is of utmost importance as far as the development of the country is concerned. And secondly, it requires a lot of investment also. So these are the two things. Next is if we see the energy scenario of the entire world, it is seen that the demand is increasing at 2.5% per year. And obviously 85% of the energy which is catered right now, it comes from the fossil fuel. So we are totally dependent on fossil fuels for our day-to-day energy consumption. Normally it is oil which is catering to this one, and coal. These are the two major sources. Some part is gas also. Next is this is one thing. Second is this energy consumption has got an impact on the environment. So we can see there is a direct relation between the climatic change and the energy consumption. So what we say, developed countries, may it be US or may it be China, their per capita consumption is quite high, and as a result of it, their carbon emissions or other emissions, they are very large. So there is a direct relation between environment and climatic change and energy consumption. So this is what the importance of energy and the facts. Now let us see what are the types of energy. So the types of energy, basically there are three major classifications. One is primary energy and secondary energy, commercial energy and non-commercial energy, and third one is renewable and non-renewable energy. So let us study one by one these classifications. Now, what is primary energy? Basically, primary energy refers to all type of energies extracted directly from the natural resources. Okay, so this is what primary energy. So you can see solar, wind, tidal, biomass, or if we consider fossil fuels, then it's oil and coal, natural gas. All these are primary energies. Okay, now these are the direct, they are available from the natural resources. Now when we consider this primary energy, every energy has got different energy content. So when we use these energies actually in our day-to-day life, the amount of heat which is generated is different from, let us say, if I burn 1 liter of oil or 1 kg of oil, and if I burn 1 kg of firewood, both of them, they will give different kilocalories. So that is why so as to bring all the fuels on a common platform, one unit is developed. It is called as TOE, that is ton of oil equivalent. That means if you burn a 1 ton of oil, how much kilocalories it will produce. So normally it is seen that it is 1 into 10 raised to 7 kilocalories, means 1 TOE, or 11,630 kWh, that is 11.63 megawatt hour, or 41.868 megajoule, or 41.868 gigajoule. So this is nothing but 1 ton of oil equivalent, 1 TOE. Because actually when we are when we deal with this energy calculations, you will find the amount of heat which is, or rather energy which is used, the numbers are very large. So as to make them simple, this 1 TOE concept was developed. So the numbers, they fall to a very small value. That means you can see 41 gigajoule means 1 TOE. So it reduces the quantum of calculation. So this is 1 ton of oil equivalent. Okay. Now let us see what is secondary energy. So secondary energy is nothing but the energy which is converted from the primary energy, or it is transformed from the primary energy so into some convenient form. So for example, we can consider the electricity, or you can say steam. So these are the forms of secondary energy. And this secondary energy. Now let us see the figure, so that we'll come to know what is the exact what is the exact difference between primary energy and secondary energy. So you will find all the primary energy sources, they are used little bit in extraction. After extraction and treatment and after processing, those primary sources are made available. So natural gas, then coal, then LPG, petrol, diesel, petrochemical products. So all these or you can say uranium. So all these natural resources, after getting them through well or mine, they are treated, and after that they are made available, and now they are supplied to different type of equipment. For example, natural gas can be supplied to a steam boiler or power plant. Coal also is supplied to these two, or LPG, it can be given to the power plant. So now after burning these fuels, it converts these boilers or power plants, they convert this primary energy into secondary energy. So steam and electricity, they are called as secondary energy. And now you can make use of these energies, and they are more you can very easily handle them. For example, if I want to produce some energy, let us say in some city, so I need not carry tons of coal. Instead, I can make use of that coal, generate electricity out of that, and then conveniently this energy, electrical energy, can be transmitted to over this long distance, and I can make use of that energy in my day-to-day life. So I need not carry that coal. So that is why this secondary energy is transformed from the primary energy. So this is what the distinction between secondary energy and primary energy. I hope you have understood it. Now let us see what is commercial energy and non-commercial energy. So what is commercial energy? So commercial energy is available in the market. It is the energy which is available in the market at a definite price, is known as commercial energy. That means if I purchase oil, if I purchase coal, if I purchase nuclear energy, so it is nothing but a commercial energy, because you can purchase that fuel or oil, whatever. So it is called as, or gas you can say. So these are the forms of commercial energy, and they are there are different forms on the basis of industrial, agricultural, or transportation sector. Okay. Now next examples are electricity, coal, oil, natural gas, etc. Now next is what is non-commercial energy. So any kind of energy which is sourced within the community and its surrounding area, and which is normally not traded in the commercial market, it is called as non-commercial energy. So what are the examples? Examples can be firewood or cattle dung or agro residue, you can say, agricultural waste, so like bagasse or rice husk. So these are the examples of non-commercial energy. They are not sold into the market, but they have some energy content. Okay, so these are also called as traditional fuels. Okay, normally it is seen that non-commercial energy is normally ignored in energy statistics. Their quantum is also less, but still it can play a major role. That means you can very easily, if you are, let us say in Konkan area, we have huge rice husk. Then we have coconut trees. So waste which is generated from this coconut, it can be very easily used in boilers. So it is nothing but a non-commercial energy. So it has got a lot of potential, but normally it is ignored. So these are the two parts of energy. Next type is renewable energy and non-renewable energy. So we all of you have studied this topic in lower semesters. So we know renewable energy sources means which are obtained from natural resources. So they are solar, wind, geothermal, tidal, biomass, hydro, all they are renewable energy. So you can make use of this again and again. They will not be, they keep on producing, they keep on getting generated continuously, which is not the case with non-renewable energy sources. So non-renewable energy sources means they are going to last after few years. For example, the fossil fuel, oil, coal, gas, all these are the examples of non-renewable energy resources. So after some time, passage of time, they are going to be depleted from the mother earth. So this is what the different types of energy. Now let us see the scenario of global energy reserves. We'll see one by one. First, let us consider coal. So all of us know that coal is very commonly available in large quantity, and geographically almost in many countries these coal reserves are found. Coal is generally found in different types. Say for example peat or brown coal, we call normally it as a lignite, then bituminous, anthracite. So these are the forms of coal, but basically it is a coal. So it is found almost in 75 countries across the globe. It is expected that almost 892 billion tons reserves are there in the world. And if we see the reserves per production, now this term we are going to use continuously, so I will define what is this R by P. So R by P, that is reserve to production ratio. So if the reserves remaining at the end of the year are divided by the production in that year, this will result in a length of time that is remaining reserves would last if we consider present production continues at the same level. That means let us say at the end of this year we have 100 ton, and this year our rate of consumption, that is total consumption this year, is 10 ton. So 100 divided by 10, that means we can assume that these reserves, they will last for next 10 years. That is 100 ton is the reserve expected or estimated, and if I am using 10 tons per year, so obviously how long it will last? So 100 by 10. So this is called as reserves per production ratio, R by P. So if we consider the global scenario, it is expected that 113 years is the reserve per production for coal. That means after 113 years there will be no coal on the earth. This is what the meaning of this statement. Now if we see what are the coal reserves and where they can find, what is the percentage of every major contribution by every country. So United States has got the largest stock of reserve, so which is 26.6%, followed by Russia, it has got 17.6%, then China, that is 12.8, Australia, it is 8.6, and India, we have 6.8% reserves in our country. So this is what the reserves. Now if we consider what is the production of coal and what is the stake in production, these are reserves. Now let us see what is the production. So production, China, we know that China is a biggest player in the market in production of different things. So huge amount of production is being taken in all sectors, and to have that production, obviously we know energy is the main element which is required, and that is reflected here. So coal production of China is almost 47.4%, followed by US, it is 12.9, then Indonesia 6.7, then Russia is 4%, and India it is 6%, along with South Africa it is 3.7%. So this is what as far as coal production is concerned. Now we know that why this coal is used. So this coal is a basically primary source of energy, so which is burned, and then we get the heat energy, and that heat energy is converted into either steam energy or electricity, and that is used in all these industrial sector. But we know that this coal and this entire process has got a very huge impact on environment. So many of the European countries, they are trying to reduce their consumption of coal, and they are trying for alternative sources of energy. But any reduction by them by switching to alternative fuels or sources of energy, it is offset by the extensive use by the developing countries. That means especially in Asia, we find there are so many developing countries like India also. So we are using huge coal for our development. So even though European countries or some North American countries, they reduce their coal consumption, but still Asian countries, they are using this coal. So obviously because of that, the environmental effects are there, and because of that, situation is becoming worsen every day, and we are facing the global warming and all such environmental issues. So this is what as far as global energy reserves as far as coal is concerned. Now let us look global energy reserves in oil sector. So we know the oil is found in seabed, and it is most of the oil is found in Middle East countries. So at present, it is a expectation that 1688 billion barrels reserves are there in the entire world. Okay, so out of those total reserves, 48%, you can say 50%, is in Middle East. Now if we see its breakup country wise, so you will find the country Venezuela, it is having the oil reserve of 17.7%, followed by Saudi is having 15.8, then Canada, it is having 10.3% share, then Iraq 9.3, Iraq 8.9, and if we consider our country India, we have just 0.3% oil reserves. So in the next when we consider Indian scenario, you will find we are losing huge revenue in oil, because almost 85 to 90% of our consumption is imported from the other countries, that is maybe Iran or other oil producing companies. So that is why we lose our huge revenue. So here you can see what is the reason. So our oil reserves are just 0.3% of the world reserve. Now if we see as production is concerned, oil production is concerned, Saudi is leading. So they are their stake in production is 13.1. Russia has got a share of 12.9. US has got a stake of 10.8%. China has got a share of 5%. Canada 4.7%. Iran is 4%. Iraq is 3.7%. And Nigeria has got a share of 2.7%. This is the share in production of the oil. Okay, so if we consider what is the scene for India, so India has 42 million tons, just 42 million tons of oil reserves, and our share is 1%. Okay, now if we consider the R by P ratio for oil, it is just 53.3 years. Okay, as compared to the coal, it is 113 years. Now you will find oil is going to last for next 50 years. So I'm sure many of us will be witnessing this fact, what happens to the world if oil stocks gets exhausted, because oil is most, I mean, in the fuels which are being used, the stake of the oil is very high. So oil is very important in as far as industrial development or industrial need is concerned, but unfortunately it is going to last in 53.3 years. Okay, so basically if you consider the non-Middle East countries, so European countries or US, Russia, these countries, they are going to lose their reserves in next 10 to 15 years. So obviously the entire world will be dependent on these Middle East countries. So right now also we call petrodollar economy. So what is that? Because everybody is depending upon those Middle East countries for the oil. So that is why huge amount of money is being pumped by them for this oil. So but in next 10 to 15 years it will be very interesting what these developed countries they will do once their stock gets over. So this is what the present scene for oil. Now let us consider the third fuel and its scenario. So global energy reserves for natural gas. So natural gas is a basically gaseous fossil fuel. Primarily it consists of methane, and apart from this methane it contains some ethane, propane, butane and pentane. But major constituent of natural gas is methane. So it is after processing, huge process, we remove all the other constituents except methane, and then this natural gas is produced. So after the oil, coal, this is the third one which is in terms of usage, which is used by the entire world. So now let us consider what is its position. So almost 186 trillion cubic meters reserves are there as of now. This is 2018's data. 186 trillion cubic meters reserves are there in the entire world. And if we consider that reserve to uh, production ratio, it is just 55.5 years. So you will find the next 55 years if it will again get depleted. So when we calculate this RIP, right now you will see 53, 55, 113. But here one thing is we have considered that if present rate of consumption is considered. Now we know that as the advancements are taking place, the usage of energy has increased multifolds. So if we consider if the use becomes exponentially high, then obviously these figures, that is R by P, will come down exponentially. So maybe in next 30 years these reserves, they will be depleted. So in that case we will have to turn to the alternative fuels, obviously. Okay, so this is expected that in 55.5 years these reserves, they will last. Next is if we see the contribution of various countries as far as reserves are concerned. So Russia is the major stakeholder. So Russia has got a reserve of 16.8%. Then Iran is 18.2. Then Qatar 13.3. Then Turkmenistan, it is 9.4, and US has got reserve of 5%. Now next, if we consider the production, so US almost US stake is 22%, followed by Russia, it is 12%, and then Iran, China and Saudi are the major countries in consuming the gas. If we consider India, we have just 0.7% reserves. So again you will find unfortunately we don't have the stocks of natural gas also. So if we consider that instead of relying on oil and coal, can we shift to this natural gas? Yes, definitely it is beneficial and for our country, but in that case we'll have to create an infrastructure for distribution of this gas to the masses. Then only it is possible. So it is a challenge for Indian economy as well. So this is what the global energy reserves as far as natural gas is concerned. Now up till now we have seen the position of the reserves. Now let us see what is the situation of global primary energy consumption. So if we take the figure of 2014, total primary energy consumption in the world was 12,730 million tons of oil equivalent, that is MTOE, 12,730. Okay, now if we consider the share of these various sources of energy, then you will find still as I said in a previous slide, that oil is a still major contributor. So you can see here, out of that entire consumption, the oil has got 33% of total share in the global energy consumption, followed by coal, it is 30%, natural gas, it is 24%, nuclear energy is 4%, hydroelectric power is 7%, and renewable energy sources, it is 7%. So this is what the energy consumption and their share fuel wise. Now if we consider percentage of different countries in primary energy consumption, we'll find China is leading with 22.4. So here you will understand the relation between the GDP or economy and the energy consumption. So higher and higher is the energy consumption, higher and higher or more and more strong will be the economy. So you can see, since China has a nowadays very strong, China, US, these are the major players. So they have got huge energy consumption, which you can see directly their economy is very strong. So China is the main player, having 22.4% share in the primary energy consumption of the entire world. So almost 1/4, 25% is their stake. Then followed by US, they are having, so in these two players only almost 40% energy is being used. So US is 17.8%, Russia it is 5.5%, and India is 4.7%, followed by Japan 3.7%, Germany 2.6%. Now as compared to India, you will find this Japan, Germany, these are Germany's European country, Japan, their population is very less, but still they are consuming the energy almost comparable to India. So that indicates their economy, their industry, it is very strong. So this is what the primary energy consumption of the world. Now if we see the sector-wise energy consumption, how this primary energy is being used by various sectors across world. So industry uses almost 50% of the primary energy consumption. So this oil, gas and natural gas and coal and all these the primary energy sources, they are used, 50% of the energy is used by industry. Then transport sector, mostly this transport sector, the natural gas is used on larger scale, but its contribution is 20%. Then residential, it is 18%, and for commercial sector only 12% is being used. So this is what the sector wise primary energy consumption in the world. Now here we'll see just how the energy consumption in the world is changing. Now here I have taken a data of 2013 and 2017. So if we see the oil share, so in 2013 it was 33%, and now in 2017 it has grown up by 1.2%, so it is 32.2%. Then the gas, natural gas, it was more in 2013, 24, and in 2017 it has reduced little bit, so 23.4%. Now coal, in 2013 it was 30%, but now that usage, as I discussed just now, that European countries, some North American countries, and total in the world, people are thinking about the ill effects of use of this coal and pollution produced by in burning the coal. So that is why they are differing from the usage of coal. So you can see its effect in the consumption. So it has reduced from 30 to 27.6, is a remarkable reduction in 4 years. Nuclear has gone up from 4 to 4.4%. In 13 it was 4%, 17 it is 4.4%. Hydro, there is no change, it was 7%, it has now in 2017 it is 6.8%. And other renewables, that is wind, solar, and this one, you will find there is almost 1.6% growth. So, and it will increase in a years to come, from 2 to 3.6 it has increased. Now interestingly, you will find, if you consider world's total primary energy consumption, as I discussed, it was 12,730 MTOE, metric ton of oil equivalent. It has, in just 4 years, you will find it has reached up to 13,511. So almost you can say 1000 is the growth in just 4 years. So you can imagine at what rate we are consuming the energy. So if this rate is very high, then this reserve per production, this figure will come down very heavily, and maybe within next 30 to 40 years we may lose our entire primary fuel reserves, and after that there will be a big question mark. That is why I thought that let us discuss the change in the energy consumption. So I hope this slide will let you know how is the relative scenario. Now let us consider the energy scenario in Indian context. So our annual energy consumption is 753 metric ton of oil equivalent. If we consider the previous figure, it is just a minute. It is just 595 million tons of oil equivalent. So it was 595, so almost 600, and within 4 years we have seen a growth of almost 153, which will be around 15% to 20%. So you can understand the logic. So it is just 595 in 2013, now it is 753. So this is the growth in just 4 years. Okay, so this is what the energy scenario in consumption in India. Now if we consider the primary energy consumption mix, what is the stake of different fuels in producing this consumption? So coal is 56.3%. So this amount of coal has a percentage of 56.3. We know that this coal is available in Indian states like Jharkhand, then Odisha, some part of Bihar, Uttarakhand. So this is what the coal belt. So out of that, Jharkhand and Odisha, they have almost 50% of the coal reserves. Okay, so that is why most of the coal plants, coal-based plants, we can find in that particular area. So in primary energy consumption, coal is having its highest stake of 56.3, followed by oil. So it is 29.5. So as compared to world, it is little bit different. In world, oil is leading with 33% and coal is less. But in our case, it is just reverse. So coal is 56 and oil is just 30%. Then natural gas, here it is just 6.2. If we consider the world consumption, so it is almost around 24%. Here natural gas we are using just 6.2%, followed by hydro, it is 4.1%, and nuclear, it is just 2%. So we know that nuclear, there are almost 7 plants in India with 22 reactors. So they are producing 2% of the total nuclear power. This is what the scene which is considered in as far as India is concerned. We'll consider its detail in the next slide. Now we'll consider out of that primary energy consumption mix, what are the points of different fuels we'll consider in this slide. So coal, basically we know that India has got huge coal reserve, about 60 billion tons coal is available, and if we consider its R by P, so it is 100 years. So our present coal stock will last for next 100 years if we consider the present consumption rate is held constant. If we consider its contribution in the world, it is around 9.4%. But Indian coal mainly suffers from the ash content. So it has got a very high ash content, and its calorific value is also very low. So that is why normally we import large coal. Around 20% is our import, especially from countries like Indonesia, Australia and South Africa. We import almost 20% of the coal. This is what the scenario for the coal. Next we'll consider the oil. So almost 80 to 85% of the oil, crude oil, is imported, because already we have seen our reserves are just 0.3% of the global reserves, and unfortunately the R by P for oil is 14.4%. So that is why our government is trying very hard to increase the percentage of renewable in the primary energy consumption. That is why we are turning, because we know that we don't have, and if we are depending upon the imports, then obviously we lose our rupees, and then which will reduce our cost of our currency. So here we almost import huge crude oil. So now these oil reserves are mainly confined in Bombay High, then some catchment area in Uttar Assam, Upper Assam rather, then Krishna Godavari basin, which was recently I mean it is invented last decade, Krishna Godavari basin. So here we find the oil, crude oil stocks in India. Now we'll see the natural gas. So natural gas, we have almost 51.4 billion cubic meter. We use almost 51.4 billion cubic meter natural gas annually, but out of that just 33.7 billion cubic meter is our production. So you will find the difference between 33 and 51. So it is all imported. It is all imported. So that is why again we are depending upon the foreign countries for this energy. If we consider the reserves as compared to the global reserve, it is just 0.6%. But the advantage of this natural gas is supposed to be the most clean fuel as far as CO2 emissions are concerned. So CO2 emission of this is just 50% of the normal fossil fuel. So that is why it is preferred by almost all the countries. Now if we consider R by P for India, for natural gas, it is just 43.6 years. Okay. So now if we consider the production, so 66% is offshore and 34% is onshore, especially in Assam, Andhra Pradesh and Gujarat. These are the states wherein we get that natural gas onshore, and 66% is taken from offshore. Now along with this, let us consider what is the energy scenario as far as electricity is concerned. Okay, so when we can basically use these primary fuels to produce electricity, so how this electricity is produced? So in that entire production, the percentage of thermal power plant is almost 57.3%. Then hydropower plant, it is 13.2%. Nuclear power plant, it is 2%. And renewable, there is a huge growth in recent years in this renewable. It is 20.1%. Oil is just 0.2% and gas is 7.2%. So this is what the percentage in electricity generation of different plants. Just 3 to 4 days back, you might have heard that there is a huge massive pilot solar power plant which was inaugurated by our PM in MP. So government is keen on developing this solar energy more and more, so that our dependency on this crude oil and coal, it gets reduced. So total installed capacity in India, total installed capacity as far as electricity is concerned, it is 343 gigawatt. That is 3,43,899 megawatt is our installed capacity. Now, very interesting statistics, how India is generating electricity. What is the percentage of each fuel? So here you will find we are extensively using this coal for the production of electricity. So almost 76.2% is the coal usage. So as we have discussed the scenario of coal, I said many European countries or North American countries, they are trying to shift from coal because of its emissions from coal to alternative fuels. But in India, still we are using the coals as a major fuel for electricity generation. Then which is followed by hydroelectric, so its take is 9.1%. Then renewable energy sources are 6.4%. Natural gas is 5%, and oil is just 0.7%. So this is what the contribution of various fuels in electricity generation in India. Now let us see how the renewable energy is generated in India. I mean, from which sources the renewable energy is generated. So renewable energy installed capacity in India. So you will find out of 100% renewable energy which is generated, the contribution of wind energy is highest, that is 49.3. Those who have traveled to maybe Karad or Pune, in between area, Patan area, you can see a large number of windmills which are installed to generate the electricity. So if we consider the percentage of wind, it is 49.3%, followed by solar, it is 31.4. And now in the years to come, I'm sure that this percentage of penetration of this solar will increase. It will increase beyond wind because it's cheap also. So it is 31.4%. Now if we see the percentage of biomass and biogas cogeneration, it is 12.6%. And small hydro projects, its percentage is 6.5%. And waste to power, if we consider this percentage very low, but still it is important, it is just 0.2%. So this is what the percentage of various renewable energy sources in the installed capacity of India. Now Indian government has taken policy decision, and there are some important points. So they will be giving a strong push for renewable energy, mainly solar and wind power, with a target to achieve 175 gigawatt of installed capacity. So it is a huge figure. When it will reach to its target, you will find our energy dependency on foreign countries for fuel, maybe crude oil or gas or coal, it will increase to a great extent. It will reduce to a great extent. Then enhanced efforts on village electrification. So already this has been achieved. So electricity in every village has been, a mission has been achieved. Now efforts are going on to complete the task by 2020 to electricity to everyone, and the connection of household lacking electricity supply with a goal to reach universal electric supply. Then move towards mandatory use of supercritical technology in new coal-fired generation. So they are also keen on reducing the losses. So if we use a supercritical technology, we get many advantages. So this is what the next initiative, and expanded efforts to strengthen the national grid and reduce transmission and distribution losses. The target is set to 15%, 1.5, which is very less as compared to the present figure. So this is how the Indian government is targeting to increase its renewable component in the energy usage. Now let us see how is the sector-wise energy consumption in India. So it is industry is using almost 44% of the energy. Then transport sector is using 17%. Residential and commercial sector is using 14%. Agriculture sector is using 7%, and remaining it is 18%. So this is the total sector-wise energy consumption in India. Now, depending upon the every year, this energy percentage will keep on changing, but by and large, you will find this is the overall scenario of sector-wise energy consumption. Now, let us consider how is the energy intensity in India. So energy intensity is an indication of how much energy is used to produce 1 unit of economic output. Lower ratio indicates that less energy is used to produce 1 unit of output. So unlike energy use per capita, which describes only how much energy is being used, when we say that per capita consumption of so and so, in India we have per capita consumption of so and so, that means it is just a figure that every individual uses this much of energy. But here we don't get details that how this energy is being used. But energy intensity clarifies how well the energy infrastructure is performing and what it does for a person. That means if the energy intensity is less, that means you are doing better. So energy intensity is the ratio between energy supply and gross domestic product, GDP we normally call. So this is what the graph, if we consider that graph, you will find day by day the energy intensity in India is reducing. That means our energy efficiency is increasing, and whatever energy we are consuming, it is contributing to the growth in the GDP. So that is why it indicates that energy consumption is reducing, and simultaneously our GDP is also growing. So we are slowly marching towards the strong economy. This is what the graph indicates. Now when we are considering the energy scenario, so we cannot ignore considering the carbon dioxide emission, because whenever we are talking of energy, invariably we have to consider its environmental effects. So one of the major factor is CO2 emissions. So if we consider the Indian CO2 emission scenario, it has got two different perspective. So one is per capita basis. If we consider, then the emissions are very low. That means it is just 1.70 CO2, which is 25% of China's and 10% of United States. Or if we consider the total global average, per capita average of entire world, so it is 4.3 T CO2. So you will find it is just even less than 50%. So on individual basis we are doing far better, but on the volume basis this is not the case. So which is very easily seen in the graph. So India is the third largest country in terms of CO2 emission. The carbon dioxide emission in 2017 was 2344 million tons of CO2, which is 7% of the world total emission. So if we consider the trend for last 15 years, you will find how the trend is increasing, which is not a very good sign. All this is because, as I said, we have seen the graph. You see, lot many graphs and charts we are looking into, but that each graph and chart tells you something. So here we have seen how we are producing the electricity. So 76% of the electricity is produced by making use of coal. So you will find that because of that heavy use, and secondly the plants, they are age old, 30, 40, 50 years old plant, still we are running. So the equipments which were installed that time, their maintenance and their efficiencies were quite low, because right now, just like I had talked of supercritical boilers and there is a huge change in the technology also, which has converted the normal equipments into energy efficient equipments. So a lot of change has been done in technology, but in our country the power plants, they are age old, their efficiencies are quite low. So because of that, you will find that there is a tremendous increase in CO2 emissions. And if we see the intensity of CO2 in the power plant, if for India the figure is 0.79 kg of CO2 per kWh. That means when we produce 1 kWh of energy, that is 1 unit of energy, almost 0.8 kg, 800 grams of CO2 is released into the environment. But if we consider the world average, it is just 0.53 kg. That means 500 grams. You can consider CO2 per kWh. So we are pouring almost 300 grams more per kilowatt. And you have seen how much is our daily energy consumption. So you can just think of how much CO2 our Indians are pouring into the environment. So this is what, when we are considering the energy scenario, I think through this chapter what we have learned. So we have understood that energy is a very important component for the development, and especially it is very crucial for developing countries like India. But at the same time, we have to care for the environment. So this is what the very important lesson we have learned through this one. Then in this chapter we have seen what is the world energy scenario. At the same time, we have seen how we are doing in Indian context. So Indian energy scenario also we have discussed. So I hope you have understood what is the energy scenario in world as well as in India.